Hello everybody, it's Mark here again, K3MHW. I'm going to be tied up for a little while. I'm having a little surgery to replace my left knee, so I want to show you a prelude to a next video, which will probably take about a month and a half to get out. But I thought I'd send this short out and let you know what's going on. Here I am over at the tower, and I got to show you that at the base of the tower, you'll see right here is where the coax comes down off the tower, and it's all grounded. I'm going to go over this grounding system, the conduit I put in, and everything else. But in the meantime, that conduit then goes through the ground over into this utility box, which goes inside to where I have my radio equipment. Now, the radio equipment right now, pardon my finger there, the radio equipment right now is in my workbench area of the pole barn. I've decided that I would like to run the equipment out of the house, make a nice office out of it, and one of my projects for spring is moving all that equipment into the house and getting it set up. Now, my problem is from this utility box over here up to the tower. Okay, I've got about 125 feet of cable running to everything. But what'll happen is I wanted to run it from the house, which means I have to add about 140 feet more coax. And because of UHF and VHF, I didn't want to lose a lot of my signals. So I looked around for some 7/8 inch heliax. And what I'm going to do is, this porch back here is a sunroom. And right back in here is where the office is going to be for the shack. And I need to run a cable all the way down there and then all the way back over to this utility box on the wall. And in order to do that, I figured heliax would save me a lot. Now, I have to show you a friend of mine. I was pricing the heliax, and a friend of mine had 150 feet of it left over. And he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, you want some heliax?" So what happened was, there it is. I went and picked it up, gave me 150 feet of heliax, and I'll show you in a minute here what my plan is. And then hopefully I'll get my buddy over here with his excavator, and we're going to trench a line all the way over to the utility box, and I'll get that heliax all set up. And then maybe from the house, let's see, all the way up to the antenna is going to end up being about 250 feet total. So hopefully we can get that all done, and I can do a nice video on it, and you can kind of see how we did it. Let me go inside and show you a couple other things. Now, this is the cable I'm going to use. This is a piece of heliax. It's let's see, 7/8 inch, and as you can see, it has a hollow center there. And the smaller cable to the left of it is LMR 600. So I'm going to run one LMR 600 and one of the 7/8 heliax. And I'll use the heliax for the VHF, UHF, and HF on the smaller cable. And we've calculated the losses, and I think it's doable. And I actually ran a piece of RG213, another 150 feet, to the radio up to the tower connection, and everything seemed to work pretty well. So if I use this stuff, which has a lot less loss to it, I think it's going to work. But this is what we're going to end up trenching in. All of it's going to be direct bury, and I hope the moles don't get to it, but we'll see. So this is the left side of my workbench. I'm out in the pole barn now, and there are two vehicles behind me, my wife's and mine. And as you can see, there's plenty of room. However, all my radio equipment, my handhelds, my printer, all the monitors, everything's taking up space, and I'm losing workbench space. That's my stove there on the left. Keeps me nice and warm without using the electric in the winter. And I live out in the woods, so there's plenty of wood here, so I'm good to go. But anyway, I want to clear off that entire bench, which is the way it used to be, and all that stuff is going to move into the house. Now, I don't think it's going to be an easy task. Most of the work I'm going to do myself, plus I'm building a new desk for inside for the shack. So hopefully I can get that all done for the spring. But either way, I'm going to bury that cable as soon as I can, get it tested, and I hope to have some good pictures of that. Now this is a shot of the right side of the work area. That is actually I can move that bench. It's 8 feet long, and I can move it around. It's on wheels, and that's where I do a lot of my dirty work. So if I'm drilling or making a mess, I don't screw up the nice bench on the left. Right now you can see I'm working on, people give me their computer parts. Probably happens to a lot of you. They don't want them anymore. Here you can have them. So I'm building a machine over there that I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but right now it's just tracking the International Space Station. But it gives you the idea. I've got a 55-inch monitor there. I've got 2 monitors on the computer on the left workbench, and hopefully I'll be moving all that stuff in the shack. And we'll do a little more talking about this, but you kind of get the idea. I need my workspace back in the pole barn for the kind of work that I do, and I don't like working in a dirty area with the radio equipment. I like to keep it neat and clean. So the project is in the planning stages. I have some of the parts, and we'll see what happens. Now this is a rough diagram, sort of a block diagram of how I'm going to set this up. When the cables are in, I'm going to use a duplexer on the heliax line, and that'll feed my 2 meter and 70 centimeter antennas. For the HF antennas, both the Yagi up on the tower and my dipoles, I'll be using a remote coax switch so I can switch between them. Therefore, I only need 2 lines to run from the house to the utility box instead of 5 individual lines. Hopefully, in the long run, it'll save me some money and work well. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'm going to build a new desk, and I want to give credit where credit's due. James in England, G0SCC, did a video on the new desk he built, and I was so impressed with it. I'm actually going to copy it. I made some modifications to it, but I kind of reversed engineered the size based on the equipment of the cubby holes there, and I really liked the way he did it. I even sent him a note that asked him if he minded if I copied it. I never got an answer back, but I want to give him credit. He's the one that designed this beautiful desk, and I think I'm going to pretty much copy it, and there'll be more on the desk later. Here's a picture from the house to where I'm going to end up trenching in the cable. In fact, here's an orange line that shows you the trench direction, and after I show you the trench direction, I'll show you the rest of what I have to do by hand and with the excavator. In this picture, the orange square is my septic system. That's where the concrete tank is, so I have to go around that. And then next, I show you all the electric data lines going out to the garage and to the septic. And the line on the left, which I'll mark in a moment, is a drainage ditch. It's actually a 4-inch PVC conduit from a French drain. So in reality, I have to dig by hand for 50 feet, and the rest of it can be done, the other, about 85 feet, can be done with the excavator, which will make the work a lot easier. But I don't want to hit those lines. I can't destroy anything. So it should be a fun video to see how we do it, especially the manual labor. So that's it for this short video. Hope you guys can see what I've got going on in the future here. And when we trench in that cable and do a few other jobs around here, I also have a few other things I want to show you that I'm doing around the ham shack here. And I'll let you know about that desk build as I work on that one. Anyway, also 73s. This is a short video. Just want to let you know what the future brings. And I guess I'll need probably about 5 or 6 weeks to recoup from the surgery. And then we're going to start trenching, winter or not. So 73s, everybody, from Mark K3 MHW.